I'm Lenny, and in this video, I'm going to discuss Season 1, Episode 11 of The Twilight Zone, titled, "And When the Sky Was Opened." The original air date for this episode was December 11th, 1959. We learn at the very beginning of this episode that the Space Shuttle X-20 is going to be launching a space mission. 4 hours into this mission, the shuttle disappears, and it's gone for a total of 24 hours before it actually crashes back into the Mojave Desert. All of its pilots are alive, they are injured, and they're hospitalized together, but they are doing well. Colonel Clegg Forbes has come back to check up on Major William Gart. The thing that I always think about when I see this episode with the actor who's playing Major Clegg Forbes is he looks like Robin Williams to me. Colonel Clegg Forbes seems to be a little unnerved. Doesn't seem to be himself. Seems a little bit shaky, kind of scary, kind of anxious. And when he goes to talk to Major William, Clegg asks Williams if he left with anybody yesterday when he was discharged from the hospital. Williams tells him no. William says, "No, it was just you, just left." Clegg tells William that can't be the case because there was 3 of them that actually went on the space mission and were in this hospital room together. Clegg mentions the name Colonel Ed Harrington, and William has no idea who this is, never even heard of this person before. When we're shown the newspaper, it shows only 2 pilots returned, that being Clegg Forbes and William Gart. Clegg says he is not going crazy. He wants to reiterate the events as he recalls them from when he left the hospital yesterday being discharged with Ed Harrington, who William does not know, and explain what has been going on. We are then given a flashback of the 3 astronauts together, talking and being within the one room. And being discharged is Colonel Clegg Forbes and Colonel Ed Harrington, and they're joking with Major William Gart, giving him a hard time, but saying that they will be back to check on him. And we see within the newspaper that they have all 3 pictures of the astronauts, of the pilot. When it gets to the bar, the bartender recognizes the heroes that have returned, and Ed and Clegg pull up a seat next to a attractive young lady who Clegg starts a conversation with. While they're there drinking their beer, Ed starts to get a kind of zoned out look on his face, and he even drops and spills his beer on the floor, which shatters. Bartender tells him, "No problem, I'll get you another one." That's nice of him. Ed decides to go and call his parents. He goes to the little pay booth phone that's away from the bar. He makes his calls, and he calls Clegg over very shortly. Ed informs Clegg that he called his mom just to see how she was doing. And when he was speaking with his mom, she became very upset, and the father got on the phone. 1, they don't have a son named Ed Harrington. 2, they don't have a son at all. So this shakes up Ed big time, and he's talking to Clegg about how he feels. He just feels off. He feels wrong. It feels like whatever they went through, somebody messed up. Something was messed up. They weren't supposed to make it back. And whatever force that may be is trying to make corrections to that right now. It feels like at any moment, if Ed lets his thoughts go and lets himself wander, that he is going to be erased from existence. Clegg is shaken up by this, not because he believes that the story is true, but that his friend is having some kind of mental break. As Clegg leaves the pay booth to go back to the bar, he turns around and he sees that Ed is no longer there. Clegg goes to ask the bartender where his friend is, and the bartender's like, "What friend are you talking about?" "The same guy I walked in with. Where is he? He's the guy that spilled his beer." Looks down. There's no evidence of the spilled beer, and the bartender and the young lady have no clue what Clegg is talking about. Clegg looks at the newspaper now, and it only shows 2 pilots. It only says that 2 pilots returned from the trip. That would be Clegg, and that would be William. This is the beginning of Clegg's downward spiral. Clegg rushes home where he decides to call his superiors to find out what's going on. Why are people playing this prank? What happened to Ed? Why are Ed's parents saying they don't know him? What's happening here? And when he calls his superior on the phone, his superior says that he has no clue who Ed Harrington is. And this is when he returns back to the hospital to go speak to William to see what William recalls. And that is where the episode began, and that is where we are now. So within the hospital room that the 3 original pilots shared together, that are now just the 2 original pilots, Clegg starts to get that same feeling that Ed was having before Ed disappears. And Clegg is begging for Williams to remember, to recall, to believe what is happening. And of course, Williams is very frightened for him because he believes that he is having a mental break, that something is wrong here. And as Clegg gets that feeling that he's slowly disappearing, that he's being erased from history, he goes running out of the hospital room and goes screaming down the hallway. William pops out of the hospital bed. By the time he makes the door, there's no one in the hallway, and William asks the young nurse who's there where his friend just went. She doesn't know what the hell William is talking about. There was no one running in the hall. William goes to pick up the newspaper to show the young nurse what he's talking about, and now within the newspaper, where there used to be 3 and then there was 2, now there is only one pilot left, and that is William himself. As the realization of truth begins to hit William, and you can see him begin to panic and fear, he himself is shortly erased. And we find out no one has been in the hospital room whatsoever. There weren't 3 pilots within that room. The room is clear. The room is available. At the very beginning of the episode, the remains of the X-20 space shuttle was within an airplane hangar, and it was underneath a tarp. And once William, the final pilot that was still alive and remaining, disappears, the X-20 spaceship disappears from the hangar as well, as if the whole situation never took place, as if those pilots never returned. Rating And When the Sky Was Open on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the absolute best score that it could get, I give the episode a 7. We have now come to the interactive part of the video. If you enjoyed the video and you think it's worthy of a thumbs up, please feel free to do so. And if you enjoyed it and you want to see other videos like it, all you got to do is hit the YouTube logo, which is going to be down in the corner over here, and you'll get a notification anytime I upload a new video to the channel. As always, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for your time, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to talk about these things that I'm passionate about. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please be safe, be careful, and I'll talk to you soon.